welcome to the DevSec 2023 podcast, sponsored by our good friends at Cisco. I'm Alan Dale with Gale Force Winds, and I have the great pleasure of being in conversation with Victoria Belbin. Victoria, tell me now, third year at DevSec for you?
Yeah, this is my third DevSec.
Right, third year
Yes.
leading ACADA through
Yes.
this. Incredible. First off,
Yeah.
I want to tell you that it's been an incredible show for us. What are your thoughts on the show?
You know what? Reflecting back to my first DevSec, you were with Genoa Design.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
right across the hall from us. We were upstairs, and I think you asked me to be on the podcast, and I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
Right.
Hard to believe that's 3 years ago. That's
Yeah.
3 DevSecs ago. This has been an incredible experience this week. Coming out of COVID, and businesses were just happy to be back on the trade show floor and having those conversations. This week, we started on Tuesday. We had industry days with Thales and GD, General Dynamics, and the energy in the room was incredible. At 8:30 in the morning, we were upstairs, large room, and I gave them a 5-minute warning. I said, okay, 5 to 9, we're going to get ready now. Grab your coffee, take your seat, and we'll start in 5 minutes. Within a minute and a half, they were all sitting. Like, they were ready to do it. And that was the tone for the rest of the week.
Wow.
People are here to do business, make the connections, build on the relationships they've already built elsewhere in the globe, because everybody is coming back here to DevSec to make it happen. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So there was a really different vibe that was happening at this DevSec.
Yeah, I
Yep.
couldn't agree more. True business being done, and I watch companies that were looking around DevSec 3 years ago. They're here now with a big presence, joining your organization, becoming members of ACADA. And Victoria, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you how highly they spoke of the services of ACADA, right? That's got to make
Yeah.
you feel great. You've got a great team.
Well, a great team, and we've got great support, because it's not just the association. It's all of the collaborative environment that we've created that already we bring industry and government and academia and partners like the DevSec Atlantic crew to just make things happen for Atlantic Canada. So there's a really interesting vibe, and the support is all here. For an SME in this industry, you need to be here because we're going to help build the pathway. So what we've been doing over the last 3 years is really building on our programs and services, and it's getting attention, and that's great. So last night at our big dinner that we had, over 400 people, we were able to celebrate the fact that we've launched these programs. We were able to call them out because they were in the room, and it was just a bit of a celebration that I'm really happy to be where we are right now. Yep.
Victoria, the big challenges in the industry, workforce and cyber and diversity, equity, inclusion, all the big conversations that are happening, you don't shy away from any of them. You hit them straight on and you say, okay, let's understand this problem, solve this problem, let's workshop through this, let's provide services to our members throughout the year. It doesn't end here, it continues on. Great support.
Yeah, and we've built programs that are really easy to get out the door, but there are programs that are it's harder for companies to really address their workforce challenges. We had a panel earlier today, and we brought in 4 of our HR experts, and those programs have been a little bit challenging because they may be on the top of the risk register. Like workforce's development is right there alongside cybersecurity in some cases. Cybersecurity, because you know that there's accreditation out there to support, and it's coming to Canada. We know that there's great consultants and software, and there's knowledge building. So yes, it's challenging, and we're going to get our SMEs there. Workforce development, it's a very complex issue, but it doesn't have to be complex. So we're having those conversations, like you said, a little bit more challenging to get leaders to think a little bit more about today's need and help us, we want to help them build the workforce for tomorrow. And it's a hard conversation.
Victoria,
Yeah.
the technology in the
It's
room,
incredible. Yeah.
isn't it something?
Yeah.
And it's happening here in Atlantic Canada.
Every time well, over the past 2.5 years, my third DevSec, but when I visit a member and I see what they're doing and the technology and the innovation, it is so inspiring and incredible. And earlier today, we had a group of students upstairs on the 6th floor, 65 students. And there's a mix from engineering, business, like academic research. And one young fellow spoke up and he said, so, this is about, the harder side of the industry, about war. But the conversation turned around and said, no, we're about building systems that are actually, the products and services solving problems and helping national and international security. And one of the young panelists from IMP said, I'm making a difference because what I'm doing is helping save lives in search and rescue. So there's such a wide, vast spread of what is happening in this industry that a lot of young people don't quite know what the opportunities are. But when they get on the trade show floor and they see like what Meta Materials is doing or what Cognitive Spark is doing, they're like, we didn't realize the impact and what difference they are making. So I hope and I look forward to the opportunity to bring more young people in to help get them excited about the industry and also bring new entrants into the industry so that our companies can thrive and do what they do best.
And we know that it works, Victoria. I mean, just last year you brought a student to us, and now that student works for one of the major international companies. Incredibly happy about her journey. Attributes everything to this, right? And just today, somebody came to us and told us a story about a student who had arrived here last year at DevSec and was so impressed, now works for PAL and completely attributes DevSec last year to his employment at PAL. It works. Right? So the more people we put in here, the more opportunities they see.
And what we've been doing at ACADA is every event in every part of the Atlantic region, we're bringing students to talk to employers, to talk about what they're looking for, but also to bring students in to see and learn from the companies. And that's where the connections are, because it's so difficult for young people to know where to find jobs or where they should be. There's so many opportunities out there. And we're looking at building some partnerships. We've got some partnerships that are being built here in Nova Scotia with Techsploration, which is a program for young girls in STEM in the school system, but also EduNova, which is the Study and Stay program.
Victoria, you were mentioning that you bring a lot of students to every event, and STEM is an important piece.
Yes. So I was just talking about Techsploration and young women, getting them attached to the industry, but also working with, we have 19 educational institutions in Atlantic Canada. And sometimes it's hard to realize the pool of talent coming out. We need to attach ourselves to that pool of talent. So making those connections into the academic institutions is really important for our companies.
We had a lot of conversations ourselves over the last couple of days, and people spoke very highly of the B2B program. Tell me about that.
So ACADA is the sponsor of the B2B program here at DevSec, and we do the B2Bs at most of our events, and they may be in the form of an industry day where we have one prime or OEM coming in and presenting their work, and then having direct contact with the Atlantic SMEs. Here it's a much bigger program, so it's B2B, B2G, which is business to government, and I don't know what the final numbers are, but it's been buzzing upstairs. Like it's a revolving door, and there's a lot of business being done here. It's quite phenomenal to see it. Yeah.
Victoria, a wonderful show all around, and I think we've covered all your points on your.
Yeah. We had in our booth, so our team has been spread out throughout DevSec.
Yeah.
We've been doing panel discussions, workshops, and of course we have our prime space on the trade show floor. And I've never seen it so busy. You probably saw it. I think we've got some footage of the huddles that have been in, and so they're almost little business meetings that are happening in our booth. So it's been really wonderful to see that. But we also had 4 of our own SMEs. It gives them prime space right in the middle of the trade show floor. But I also want to shout out to all of our nominees and our winners for last night, our innovation awards that we had. We had the innovation leader, which was Duction. The business development distinction went to IMP.
Wow.
The most promising startup went to Black Arcs, and they have the City Sketch technology. And then the Diversity and Inclusion Award went to Genoa Design International. Wow. So it was a wonderful night. We had a great celebration of what was happening in the industry here in Atlantic, Canada. And this is a prime example, DevSec Atlantic.
There's not much left to say, Victoria, but thank you. You guys do such a great job for this sector, for this ecosystem in Atlantic Canada. Privileged to have you on the show once again, and we'll keep following everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Because you're doing great work.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for the opportunity.